Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. We have arrived. Wolverhampton Wanderers. Yeah. They're not going through the greatest of times. Financial trouble off the field, selling Ruben Neves, selling Mateus Nunes, and signing frees such as Matt Doherty. They were challenging for Europe seasons ago. So today we're going to take Gary O'Neill over at Wolverhampton Wanderers for our first save in FC 24. I'm extremely hyped for this one. They took Gary O'Neill's face out of FIFA, and this being the first save, we've got all this managerial stuff, and I haven't looked any of it up. Kick and rush, counter-attack, park the bus, interesting tactics, but I think I'm going to try and develop a tiki-taka style. That's for season 1, of course, as we've got some scouts. Theodore George, welcome. Oh, these aren't scouts, these are coaches. You can see how much research I do on this game. Gone ahead and got a few scouts in, as this is the team we inherit. Mateus Cunha, I want to make an absolute main man at this club. Same with Pedro Neto and Kilman. I'm a real big fan of those three. Also, Sasa Kalajic, 6'7". Basically a giraffe on the field. Also going to take a look at the youth academy, and no standout prospects this year. Manuel Sacco looks the best, but will he get in the team? Probably not. As for coaching, we've got it ideally done. Some brilliant coaches, as attacking midfield is the position we want, and I am not going to steal Lecce or Eze because I can't do that. We do have 48 million, mind you, but we're going to try and stay a bit realistic with that, as ultimately we are bottom of the league. So attacking midfielder was the position we had to strengthen to move Cunha up, and we've got a big player. Our first player of FC 24 is going to be an Arsenal one in Fabio Vieira. Portuguese link. It works. It has cost 15.6 million, and with the struggles Wolves are in with money, could that be our only signing? He's straight into the starting 11, and as you can see, we've pushed the striker forward. I'm liking this team already. I did change it round. I put Bueno in the defence over Dawson, and I think that's pretty much it. And of course, with fixtures being real life ones, Manchester United, they're the first ones. The graphics have changed for the first time. Very nervous for this one. And objective wise, we're only expected mid-table with a round of 16 in the FA Cup. Of course, no continental success, brand exposure. They want 2 players from the same nationality. They want us to get an English spine. For now, that won't be happening. As Manchester United, we're rushing straight into here with the quick sim, and they've got the 3-1 win. Wang Hee-chan, Garacho, Gerard, and Hannibal. It's literally all the youngsters scoring for him. A real big shame as Brighton follow up with a win against us. So something has to change. We offload players like Johnny. Chelsea spending even more money. And with just a little bit more spent, we've bought a player from the Championship, not English, but very, very quick. A different outlet on the wing, not Enzo Gonzalez going out, but Dan James comes from Leeds United, a decent spell at Fulham in the Premier League. Why not take another gamble? It's been a torrid start to the season, and look at that energy. Despite that, I am going to try and stick to this tiki-taka with Wolves. We've got to get it going. I know it's not true Gary O'Neill, but to lift them up, we've got to do his own thing. And our first full sim through. This is going brilliant. Pedro Neto wants out of the club. As you can see, I've said he can have a fresh start. We're a selling club at the moment, but a selling club that does sit 11th in the Premier League. 23 points so far. We are so clear of Crystal Palace, only with 16. Oh, Mateus Cunha, I said he would be the other main player, another one we need to keep. As for the rest of the team, we're pretty fine as we are right now. It's going to have to be a straight swap for James and Neto. What a downgrade. And this is interesting. Very interesting. I know he wanted to leave, but Pedro Neto has selected Aston Villa as his next club. If you didn't know, Wolves are direct rivals with Aston Villa. If we're going to be winning the Premier League and Champions League, we need players to actually stay loyal to us and take a bit of managerial control. And more players want to leave after Neto, Sasa Kalajic, Totti Gomez. So to stop us being a super selling club, Fares Chaibi from Frankfurt. He's the winger that's going to replace James and Wang Hee-chan. Still believed we need another player in front of them, so he will join us. He's only 21 as well. Very good stats, and now on the bench we've got Silva and Huang who can cover wing and up front. And will he take his chance finally. And as we reach the end, you can see some big results beating Liverpool, City, a draw with Arsenal. Ultimately, we had a 10th place finish in the Premier League above the likes of Chelsea. As Luton Town didn't finish rock bottom, they do go down though with Palace and Sheffield United. Winning the Prem in season number 1 is Liverpool. I've actually got their kit on. Bit embarrassing. In the FA Cup, we're not in the final, but we didn't just get our round of 16. We were beaten in the semi-finals by Spurs 2-0. We beat Pompey, we beat Newcastle, some big results there. And this one's a very successful first season. We've got Matheus Cunha, the highest rated at the club right now, and Guedes, who's out on loan. Probably going to bring him back next year, and 29 goals for Matheus Cunha. I told you he was a good player for us. Wang Hee-chan with 8. Fabio Vieira with 7. So season number 2. After a first good initial season, we've got some player growth. Lovely jubbly. Oh, but we've got the expectation of a Europa League place. Sign one player outside of Europe. We should be able to spend money now. Gary O'Neill's proved himself, and we've got 79 million. That is a lot, you know. A 10th place finish in the Premier League gets you a lot of money, so I'm probably going to go for a right-hand side midfielder. And maybe a new keeper. I don't know. Jose Sar's shown some frailties in real life, in my personal opinion. I know he's a brilliant keeper at times, but we'd need something more rock solid. We did manage to keep Sasa Kalajic as well, but he's not as good as Guedes, who's going to go straight onto the bench. Or scrap that, into the first team. Oh, actually, look at the players running out of contract this year. Seriously, look at them. Look at them. It goes all the way down to Nathan Fraser, and some, like Semedo, don't want a new one. And as you can see right here, huge bids going around. Semedo, Sasa wanting to go out, but one I'll always be turning down is Matheus Cunha. 92 million in funds is raised. We've got to spend it, though. So welcome to the club, our new right back. We've got Kyle Walker-Peters. He doesn't like to show his face. There we go. He's not the highest rated, but he's a player I do have faith in. Alongside a new midfielder, Teun Cooper Miners. That's our player from outside of Europe. Left-footed player at the left-hand side of midfield. That is a lot better, I would say. Really happy with that. And then just before we get into our pre-season, another player joins us. With the Pedro Neto thing sitting very eagerly on the top of my head. Very false. Leon Bailey has made the switch. Yes, he's gone to Atalanta and then come to us, but it's an ex-Villa player. Mind games. But it is mind games. I'm hoping the pace merchant can help us this season. Our midfield and attack is looking very, very nice. Terrific signing. This rebuild is getting really tasty. Season number 2. Silva's gone and Ballon Dawson has left. A really good deal on a future Ballon d'Or winner. As this man... he's definitely not. Now Courtois is fit again. We've gone ahead and signed Kepa Arrizabalaga in the gym, of course. I'd rather you work on your handling, mate. That's what needs the strengthening. Oh my days. Norwich City as the first game as well. If Gary O'Neill doesn't beat Norwich, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. Come on, though. Look at that team that we do have. Defense could still use some work on the training field, but what a victory for our first game. When Matt Doherty's scoring the last goal of the game, you will know your team is clicking. I've said the defense isn't quite there. I mean, Walker-Peters has just joined. Kilman's going to progress, and Ait Nouri. Very happy with the Wolves squad that we have right now, and we've got to fight for Europe. But to be honest, I'd be happy if we still fell short. We are 3rd in the Premier League. Wolverhampton are 3rd in the Premier League. I mean, I will take it, but I did not expect this at all. The ratings are not standing out to me. I mean, Matheus Cunha 84. Can you say any more? As he has got 15 goals. 7 for Leon Bailey, who's joining in. But Matheus Cunha, 15 goals. He just is the best player going. We still have 46 million to spend as well, and we could be in the Champions League with Wolves. The tiki-taka approach is... what else were we expected? Right, FA Cup, that starts soon. As for the FA Cup as well, we're in the semi-finals against the Championship Sheffield United. We've got academy players doing well as well this season, like Peter Seymour. He's going to get promoted as maybe a future keeper. But the question is, of course, what do we spend as money on now? Because we're still smashing teams. We're beating Nottingham Forest 3-1, and it's hard to make improvements when you're that good. And we might have found a player, actually. He's not a right back to replace Walker-Peters, who's the lowest rated. Supporting our Champions League push is Yusuf Fofana. I can't believe I've just said that in season number 2. And will I regret it come end of the season? We've just got one page to skip. Oh! Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Champions League in the second season. The second season in this rebuild. I can tell FC24 is going to be a good one. I can tell. Villa fell off. Pedro Neto fell off. But we remained third. But we were only 5 points off City. As the FA Cup, did we reach the quarters? No, we didn't. We failed Liverpool. In the Carabao, we lost to Sheffield United in the end. So we've actually done quite bad, all things considered, domestically, cup-wise. But hey, rating-wise in the team, you can see Fofana was playing centre-back. He'll be back in the midfield for next season, and I want to see how many goals this man scored. I love Matheus Cunha. I love the man. 27 goals this season. Guedes back with 12, and Bailey and Vieira with 9. Both good signings, however. 42 players in the squad as well. So next season, we've got to trim that amount, get some more forwards in, because 4's not enough. And we have got to compete in the Champions League. Okay, so win the FA Cup, finish in the Champions League again, and reach a semi-final. Now, I've just got a feeling that's not going to happen. Gary O'Neill in the Champions League final. It's just an image in my head that shouldn't stick, and they want a crucial forward. If they think I'm replacing Matheus Cunha, they have got another thing coming. Seriously, back off board. That is not going to happen. Gomez has fallen out of the squad this year. We've got to see the contracts for next year. Some big players going. Nuri could be. Of course, we've got to sign them up. Right, okay, we've got some good ones signed. But players that will be leaving us is Jose Sarr and Matt Doherty finally. I don't know really why I've attacked him that much, but whoa! £163 million to deal with. Just sign a new right back. Walker Peters hasn't grown as much as I thought he would. I do really want to keep Kilman, but maybe another winger. Maybe another winger. One team I actually could steal from as well. Brighton. Relegated. De Zebri surely can't be there, and there is players I'd love to take. But the first piece of news actually isn't a signing from Brighton Hove Albion. It's a sale of Jose Sarr going to Villa as well as Neto. Now, I know that happened a while ago, but I'm still surprised that these players are betraying us. Unai Emery. Getting the Portugueses in. And our first actual player is through the door, coming over from Al Nassr and playing with Ronaldo. But now the main man has retired, Otavio has come to Wolverhampton to tear it up on the wing. Otavio is a brilliant player as well, but he's not this man who's going to sit behind him. Nusam Mazraoui joins Wolves from Napoli. Now we have the money and the status we can sign. Absolutely perfect. Perfect. But I've got a feeling some bad news is on its way. Here it is. Here it is. I can't believe it's actually happened. Matheus Cunha goes across to Milan for 89 million. Yes, we're in the Champions League, but they're a huge club. We do have a lot of money still from that, and we do hope to become a big club, but we cannot be playing in the Champions League with Nathan Fraser up top. So everyone put their hands together to welcome our replacement striker for Matheus Cunha. We're going to try and fall in love with a new striker, and this man will be known by some Premier League fans, Florian Balogun. Also, Will Still's best mate. Leon Bailey now benched, and Max Kilman still as captain. And we are a Champions League team, but we're going into the first game against West Ham and testing it. Testing Kilman still in there, and although he gets a yellow, we win the game with Balogun scoring. And a change of topic this year, because I was thinking we needed a backup striker for the Champions League campaign, but we don't know who we've got yet. It kind of puts us in a position where we have to gamble. We've got 137 million anyway. Let's get another striker in. Balogun's not just going to be on his own. I can't say his first name, but Milik will be the backup. A very good veteran striker who will have to help us with the experience of beating Atletico Madrid, Monaco and Celtic. Of course, we've signed 2 Monaco players, and Atletico Madrid just brings up memories of Matheus Cunha. Oh, and the thumbs are down for once. Gary O'Neill under pressure, 7th in the Prem. Chelsea are returning to their spot, and to be fair with the players we've signed, I think we still should be higher. We could be in some serious trouble. But hey, again! Oh, the players are unhappy, but Balogun's going up. Very unhappy players, in fact. Very unhappy. And the early safe push for Champions League was nice as it lasted, but it won't last much longer. I thought we'd get the better of Celtic for Europa League, but no. A team that has 140 million in its budget should not be sat where we are in the Premier League and out in the Champions League. So you know what? I unfortunately think that it is time for Max Kilman to be replaced. So we're not actually going to go ahead and sign a world beater to replace Max Kilman, because he still could grow, but you might see who he is. That is Ginter coming across. Oh my days. Oh my days. Look at this though. So it turns out our team did improve. We are 5th in the league. Man United are 4th. We have them on the last game of the season. Now I've just seen their goal difference and that's really made me feel bad. Not only do we have them as the last game, we have them in the FA Cup final days later. This is going to be very interesting. The game was a 1-1. Europa League football. The only thing is, can we get a trophy alongside Europa? The first game of FC24, or should I say the first highlight package, Man United Wolves in the FA Cup final. This is going to be some game that we've got to win. We've got to get kicked off and go for it. 30 minutes in, an attack for us in this game. Gomez into Cooper Miners, now Guedes. Passing the ball around's quite difficult, but Scott McTominay doesn't find it for Tarwu. On to Rasmus Højlund with the shot. Good block as well it was from Kilman, but Otavio, we're late on in the game right now, and that is a terrible pass. Which takes us to a penalty kick for United. No, Kepa Arrizabalaga versus Rasmus Højlund here to keep us in it, which he does. And he, in fact, sends us to penalty shootout ourselves overall. Oh, no. I haven't took any in this FIFA, but Balogun with the first one. To Rasmus Højlund again as well. We've dived the same way. Right, we do hold an advantage. Leon Bailey. Oh, Nana. This leaves Fofana, who did come off the bench. He was very tired from the league, and he does put it in the top corner. Now it is down to Kepa Arrizabalaga against Ellis to win us a trophy. I got so hyped there. I thought it was over. Still, we have a chance. Scott McTominay against Kepa Arrizabalaga, but he does save it, does the Spaniard. And that means Wolverhampton Wanderers have won the FA Cup. In the end, it was ultimately a decent season, but look at the budget. Look at the budget for next year, and we are a Europa League club, my stew. They do expect us to win the Europa League, as I expect ourselves to do, and reach the Champions League again. Matthias Ginter has already left the club as well. Just thought I'd add that at the start of this. And yeah, strengthening-wise, central defenders, it has to be again. So, of course, going to spend that budget straight away that we have on 2 players that don't get into their respective squads. First one, of course, Wesley Fofana of Chelsea. As Leon Bailey leaves, we get another ex-villain, which is Zaniolo, who's wearing the Pro Club's default kit. Maybe not got used to his move to Wolves yet, but Bayern sold him for 50 mil. Fofana on the left and Bueno on the right now of the defence. We still trust in Ait Nori. Zaniolo does replace Guedes, who goes to the bench behind Florian Balogun. Them 2 players need to make the difference for us, but I tell you what, they're not going to do it at Wembley. Community Shield, not our thing, but I tell you what is, having a tired Fofana and the league. Oh no, Kepa, what have you done? Dan Bentley's going to have to be in goal, and we do only get a draw out of Burnley. Kept a clean sheet, but they missed a penalty, I think, with Maya. Our keeper's out for 3 weeks. That's never great at the start of the year. At least he should be back for this, the Europa League, as we have Feyenoord, Lille, and Norrköping. At least we should be bottom of that. And we're still up there fighting a season later. We want to be back in the Champions League. We got there really early on and it's just sunk in. Oh, that Villa are second as well. We need to knock them behind us and have them finish above us, as this is what the team is looking like at the moment. It is brilliant, but we do have a lot of money left, and I've got to the point where I'm thinking, do we go on a spending spree? And finally, we've made it through in the Europa League. Preliminary round against Bayern Munich. We need to find a way to beat Bayern Munich. And I think signing this man will do it. Welcome to the club, Robin Lenormand. 87 rated Spanish, so we'll know Kepa. And from Napoli, so we'll know Mazarawi. This is how our team is looking now. A lot better, but can it outdo Bayern and can it push us up into the Champions League? Oh my days, and we've actually made it to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Beat Tottenham in the last quarter-final. This is unreal. Sporting and Braga in there. So we did get past Bayern Munich 4-1 aggregate. 3-1 in the away game. Of course, I don't know how the Premier League's going, but this team is doing us justice. We have got a 90-rated striker, my stew. And we're hammered 3-0. We won the second leg, but maybe I've got too easily happy. It's a disappointing way, really, but at the end of the season, there's a lot of wins in the league there. And one against his rivals to end off. Oh my lord. And it does see us finish joint top of the league, but lose it on goal difference. This is just a surprise that keeps on surprising. How have we not won the Premier League? How have we given up on that chance? We'll just have to go again, I guess. With Florian Balogun scoring 29. I said we couldn't replace Cunha, but we have done. Zaniolo with 14. Cooper Miners with 10. And the team's back in the Champions League, but should be there with a Premier League title. Wow, 233 million in charge of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and it's not even the most we've had. Back in the Champions League and back with a huge squad. Could this actually push to win the competition? I think the bench needs a bit more strength on it. We're expected to reach the final anyway, domestically, win the league and the FA Cup. I'm sure the Carabao will come with that one. 3 players born in Europe. They want us to go out and sign. So with that money, we're going to go back to Wolves' best trait. And that, of course, is signing very decent Portugueses. Diogo Dalot the first. He's probably going to play at left back, but be a huge player, as he's partnered up with, oh, not Maximilian Kilmon, which hurts to leave. It's actually Andre Almeida, another Portugueser. And those two will be joined by Luis Enrique, the Brazilian right-hand-sided midfielder. And after that, we've sold Alnuri to sign Georgi Mamashvili. We've got a squad the size of, what, 2 Barcelonas? And then, of course, we've got an overpowered bench with likes of Guedes, Fofana, and Kepa sat on it. We really should be smashing whoever we have for the first Prem game of this season. And that first game of the season is going to be Burnley. Can bloody Burnley do? They don't do anything. It is a 2-0 win for Champions League Wolves. All we have to do now is sell the Deadwood, the likes of Milik and a very constipated looking Bentley. And before we get fully into the season and we're sitting nicely in the Premier League, you can see our group is Porto, Fiorentina and Ajax. Judging by the team we have, it's fitting we've got a Portuguese team in there, but we should win that group. And this is not really how we wanted it to go. I did want to win the Premier League in this save, but we all know the ultimate aim is to win the Champions League. Wolverhampton still in the Champions League, of course, as we will see if we progressed. We did. And it's Balogun's old boys, Monaco. Board actually pessimistic with us going into this one. Gary O'Neill's got a job to do here against Monaco. We did finish top of our Champions League group. I can't speak, but that is the team we're going with. There's an injury to Henrique as well, which I've just noticed. Otavio will step in, and we will only get a draw. It's wing play versus tiki-taka. It's the second leg here at Molineux. We've still got an injured winger. Can we beat them? Yes, we do on penalties. That is a relief. And as you can see, we've simulated up to the next game. It is Barcelona. This is going to be an interesting one because Cooper Miners is suspended himself. Enrique is actually out for 2 more months as well, the Brazilian winger. It's a shame. We may see him for a Champions League final if we could make it. The tiki-taka training team coming up against one of the best tiki-taka teams in world football. And we are all square going to the new camp. This is going to be a very interesting game. Oh, extra time's done it. A draw in normal time, but Almeida being a main player in that one. Wolverhampton in the semi-finals and PSG won't be there. That is glorious scenes. Get in there. A big weight off the shoulders, but it's the team that knocked them out. Bayern Munich and Harold Kane. Also might notice that we've got an FA Cup final again. It could be a double bubble. Another team that plays tiki-taka football. Mazarawi suspended against his old boys, but Balogun bounces back. And this game right here separates us from a Champions League final. The first one that we could potentially be in. And it is guaranteed. Guedes off the bench to do it. And Balogun, of course, Who else? We will be there. And it's looking like we'll be in the Champions League next year if we don't win it. The final comes after the FA Cup one, which we're going to quick sim anyway because there's a double Newcastle and Manchester City. It will be the end of Wesley Fofana no matter what. Balogun has been probably the standout player of our first rebuild here on this FIFA. EAFC. Whatever. He was also the top scorer with Zaniolo second. And before we go into the two finals as well, we're going to go down memory lane even further. Mateus Cunha, Kilman, Ait Nuri, Ruben Neves. Taking a look at some Wolves legends that of course have been here. Apart from Ruben, but he's one of the main reasons for this rebuild. But can we honour all of their legacies by winning the FA Cup? We don't. We've already won it. Newcastle take the glory in the domestic competition, but we change focus to the Continental. Here we go, Estadio Metropolitano, so there's no home advantage going on here playing in England or anything. We are all ready. One team will have their hands on that trophy. Unfortunately not in the home kit, but ready to give it all in red. We've got to start off strong right here with a couple of passes around the Man City defence. Got to switch that across as well. First full game in EAFC. Not a handball, no? Okay, so we're not going to get that look again this year, but Lucas Hernandez hasn't played many games due to the injury, but is back and skinning defenders with a ball onto the edge of the box. Cooper Miners through bodies. Good chance by him, and it will lead to our first corner. Fabio Vieira puts a good one in, and it's headed in by Wesley Fofana. The man who wanted to leave in this save has got our first goal in the Champions League. The final, that is. Look at this for a towering header over John Stones. And that is beating Edison hands down. Come on. Get in there, Wolverhampton. Still, to say we do tiki-taka and they're on gegenpress. We're pushing them forward. Balogun. Fabio Vieira running through the midfield without anyone being able to tackle him. Putting the ball down the line now. This could be a chance. Zaniolo cuts inside. We've been all over City here. Zaniolo, good save. By far the better team. But here comes Haaland. Oh no. And he slipped past the goal scorer Fofana, trying to chip Mamashvili, and he has failed it. And it sees us to half-time, still holding on a clean sheet. Lovely stuff so far from us. And I love how it's telling us about Davies moving in a Champions League final where he's not involved. Next Villa player as well. Oh, so we need to try and get a second goal if we can. Almeida running round the houses, finding almost a good ball through, but the ex-player Mateus Nunes steps in. Best chance for City, that from Haaland, and we're still absolutely dominating. It will be a goal from a corner that stands so far, but Mazraoui trying to drill one in completely out of the way. Not long to see it out though, boys, as Berardi, oh, Mamashvili with a huge save, and Henrique needs to put it down the line with 5 minutes left. I haven't been watching the clock as City push forward again. Pedri leaves the ball behind. That's a good tackle. All the City players with their hands on their heads as we're going to attack from this. Zaniolo running all the way down the wing. He's got the pace on John Stones. Can he put it across the box? Oh, it's over the head of the runner Henrique. But I tell you what, they shouldn't have a chance to come at us. And Wolverhampton are the first team to win the Champions League. That is here on the channel, of course. We've got plenty more rebuilds to come this season. Even Pedri and Robertson couldn't save City. And the captain is going to be Cooper Miners, lifting our first ever League Champions trophy. Put it the wrong way, but we will lift it in the right way. With, of course, the orange and black stripes of Wolverhampton. And we have done it for the Midlands. If you do want to see, of course, another rebuild, comment them down below. Apologies on being a little bit late. I've been ill, on holiday, and had a birthday, but I will see you all very soon for the next one.